So my most common client these days, and actually one of my favorites, is a real estate investor, mainly a Canadian-based real estate investor, somebody that invests in real estate. I just had a referral yesterday from an Israeli real estate investor that wants to branch out and take advantage of the opportunities in the US market. And even though the prices are still a little bit high, there are so many opportunities. And even though the rates are high, they are dropping a little bit, and you can't wait for the perfect time. And definitely for Canadians, more than anybody else to a certain degree, because the prices are so crazy, especially in places like my hometown of Toronto or Montreal or Vancouver. The opportunities to access the market here in the US are so much broader. You have so much more volume, you have so much more opportunity, and you can get in at such a lower rate. Like, for example, you can even access a condo for sometimes even under 100,000. And so you can't even touch that in Canada. And then you can see a return on your investment that is, a nice cap rate and a nice return when you sell. And then there's all kinds of other opportunities. And yes, we have financing and all these things. So don't be afraid by the dollar being low, because the reality is that you're going to end up getting your income in US dollars. So that's a benefit. So that's one side of our business, is real estate investors. Now, some real estate investors also want to get visas, which is my sweet spot, invest to immigrate. And so we have a program that I created, my signature program, called How to Immigrate Through Real Estate. And so we take real estate investors and turn those passive real estate investors into active real estate business owners, so that they can potentially obtain a visa to live and work and play in the US. And then our second box is bucket, as it were, is the set of people that wants to either expand their business, start a new business, develop a business, buy a business, whatever the case may be, outside of the real estate space in the US. A lot of franchises are in that space. I love working with franchises. They pave the path to a visa very nicely, and it's turnkey and easy to manage. And then our third bin is those that want immigration, no matter how they get it. They want to immigrate, they want to get a visa, maybe a green card, and they have no idea how to get there. And so we pave the path for all three of those types of clients. It's a true full service experience where we take them by the hand, maybe not literally, but certainly figuratively, and walk them through the process from A to Z, or A to Z if you're in Canada, and really make them feel like they are a part of our world, because at the end of the day, I can't sleep at night if they aren't getting their needs met. That taking the first step is the biggest challenge that a lot of our clients have, because there's a lot of fear, and there's fear around real estate investing in your own backyard. So when you're going across borders, suddenly the fear becomes that much greater, and you don't know what you don't know. But that's why we're here. So the reality is that it's so important to set up the right structure and look at all of dot your I's and cross your T's before you do it. Speak to the professional teams. We have a cross-border tax advisor. We have an asset protection attorney. We have our team, and we are full service. So what that means is, if you want to get into the market, don't go and grab that property that's $20,000 in Memphis, Tennessee, because I'm not grabbing it. You need to do your due diligence, and you need to not only do your diligence and end up not having a lawsuit on your hands, but you need to set up the right structure so that if there, God forbid, is a lawsuit, at least you have a level of legal protection. And I think that that's a big challenge, especially for Canadians. I was just talking to somebody today about the fact that a lot of Canadians come into the US and then they want to get a visa, and they think that it's so easy once they're here, and it's not. I mean, it's not that it's hard, but it's not easy. And if you don't get the right documentation when you cross the border, suddenly that creates a challenge for you. Now, back to real estate. Anybody potentially can invest in US real estate from anywhere in the world. The restrictions come from your home country. Okay. So, for example, Canadians, the biggest challenge that they face, besides having the proper legal protection, is double taxation. And if you do not set up the right structure, you will be subject to double taxation. You could pay the IRS and the CRA, and nobody really cares that you've already paid if you don't have the right structure in place. And a lot of people just go online and set up a limited liability company and say, well, Joe did this or Frida did this. And that doesn't matter, because that will be a disregarded entity by the Canadian Revenue Agency, the Canada Revenue Agency. And so at the end of the day, wouldn't you rather to speak to the right people and have the right structure in place so that when you do make money, you can actually put it in your pocket instead of giving it to the tax guy, which kind of defeats the purpose, right? So an immigration lawyer generally does the immigration petition, the immigration service, the immigration. They are the one that actually works with the immigration, the USCIS, United States Citizenship and Immigration Service. They're the one that submits the documents, prepares the actual legal documents based on all of our supporting documents. So what we do in our business is we either subcontract that piece to one of our immigration teams that we know and trust and like and have proven track record, or we do the first phases, because we've split our work into 3 phases, which I'll tell you quickly. And we do the first 2 and then deliver it to the immigration attorney packaged and ready, like a nice little gift with a bow that they just have to uncover and submit and get the visa pretty fast and painlessly. So we developed at the beginning of last year, due to the humongous volume that we just didn't know what to do with. We developed a 3-phase program because a lot of people were concerned last year with the vaccination issue, whether they could get in or not. And so we developed this 3-phase program, and phase 1 is all about finding the business, structuring the business, like going through the due diligence. If it's a franchise, having the discovery calls, being vetted on both sides. So all of the pre-visa stuff is phase 1. And we didn't go to phase 2, which is potentially getting across the border until and unless they either get across the border or finish figuring out their business. So it's phase 1 is exclusive of phase 2. Phase 2 is the business plan and all the strategy around that business plan, which has been our sweet spot for over 2 decades. And then phase 3 is the actual legal petition and submission. So we split that into the 3 phases so that it was easier for the client to digest, because it's a big undertaking and you're moving your family across borders. You're not just moving down the street. Okay, I'm having enough trouble moving down the street. But I did move across borders, so I got to give myself credit for that. But the point is that there's so many opportunities and so many ways to deliver the service. And the immigration lawyer, generally speaking, nothing against lawyers, I am one. Most lawyers are not business people. They are lawyers, okay? And I think that because of my background and working in-house at various financial services companies and really learning the business side of things, even though I didn't get an MBA, I feel like I could have had an MBA, and that's a whole other story because I was in the law MBA program, but we won't go there. But anyway, I got my MBA in practice. And it's because we were writing business plans for so long that we really became in the know in terms of business and structure and what works and business modeling and financials and profit and loss. And so that then dictates the service that we're delivering, because it's much more business oriented, with the visa as kind of the overriding ultimate goal. But the business plan and the business structure goes into this. So we're not going to help them find a business that isn't going to get them to their end goal, generally being a visa. Same thing for real estate investors. We're not going to get them to invest in 5 long-term single-family homes to rent long-term, as I mentioned, because that's not going to help them get their visa. However, if all they want to do is invest in real estate, it won't matter as much. So you're right, we have to look at the end goal, just like with the GPS. You don't want to just be haphazardly going in circles. You want to have a destination. So we look at that destination, and sometimes destination, imagine this, changes. First stumbling block that I think most people face is that they think it's going to cost them $800,000 because that's the EB-5 program, which is a green card through investment, or they think it's going to be 10 years in the making, or they think that they are going to have to sell their firstborn, or they are just afraid of that first step because they really don't know what they don't know and they don't know what they should be doing. So the thing that I would recommend is to reach out to our team, investingacrossborders1@gmail.com. Actually, I'll make it easier. Hello, investingacrossborders.net. Just send us an email and tell us what you're interested in. And then we will send you some great downloads to learn how easy it really is. And you can get in, so just so you know, you can pretty much access the US in a non-real estate business for around $100,000 and get a 5-year visa to live and work and play here and run your business and make money and, be out of the cold and the snow. Or if you want to invest in real estate, it's a little bit more. It's probably about $250 to $300 out of pocket because it's a tangible asset. But that's the kind of the cost of entry. It's not a huge bar because most people in Canada have some nice equity in their homes, right? So even if you take out a line of credit or something, and so when people are like, well, what's going to happen to that? Well, it's a saleable asset. You can always sell it. Even the business you can sell, but it's also an investment in your future. So just don't be deterred by your fear of the cost or your fear of how challenging it will be, because we will help you and we will be there to guide you and hold your hand through the process. Check out our website, and there's some fun ways to get into working with us, investingacrossborders.net. We have just pretty much launched it and we're excited about it. And come to one of our webinars to learn more. We have monthly webinars, investingacrossborders.net/masterclass. Everything we do is now branded around Investing Across Borders, as you can see in my background. And grab a copy of my book, Finding Your Silver Lining in the Business Immigration Process. It has some great insights. First of all, it tells my story, which is kind of interesting, but it has some great insights into the different business visas, including a bunch of charts and graphs and all kinds of stuff that will help you for probably under $20 to figure out where you think you fit. And then before deciding that that's where you fit, set up a consult with us. Okay, we have team consults, we have consults with me, and we would love to help you. Investingacrossborders.net/Lauren ESQ, LAURENESQ, to set up a consult with me. And last but not least is my podcast, and it's called Investing Across Borders. And you can subscribe to it on all of the major podcast channels. And you can also see all of our podcast episodes on LaurenESQ.com, which is my personal brand, Lauren ESQ. ESQ means lawyer in America. I look forward to many more years of success together.